white guy just pissed off every racist lib with sign about privilege he has that they don't. How often have we heard liberals claim that white people need to check their privilege? More often than not, right? Over the last several years, that insane liberal mantra has gained steam for the social justice warriors on the internet. They continue to run around yelling at white people for our supposed privilege that many of us have never seen. Of course, people are sick of this insane rhetoric, so one white guy decided to hit back with this epic sign that has liberals raging mad. The left is always doing their best to find new ways to create more victims in America. These leftists often devise schemes in order to pit people against each other in order to control the population better. Social justice warriors have grabbed onto this divisive tactic and created more ways to call white people out. Earlier this year, a company called Casa Girl created a deck of cards entitled Privilege Cards that were designed so that social justice warriors could tell people directly but not aggressively that he or she doesn't agree with something that was said and that they need to return to their safe space. Here is more from Red Alert Politics. Fabiola, the Brooklyn-based owner of Casa Girl, had previously only made Kardashian, Beyoncé, and Drake fan paraphernalia. However, recently she decided to dive into social justice warrior-themed products including a Planned Parenthood calendar. Additionally, she made gravestone stickers celebrating the death of student debt, the male ego, the glass ceiling, white privilege, gender roles, and, of course, haters. Privilege cards can be issued to any of the following: males, white people, those with good socioeconomic standing, Christians, heterosexuals, able-bodied, and citizens. Now, liberals have come up with another way to create more division in their imaginary victim creating. These hateful leftists are now claiming that intelligence is the newest class of privileged people and those who are intelligent have what they have called cognitive privilege. The premise here is that there are some people that are born with higher levels of intelligence than other people, which pretty much gives them more privilege than those born without. And that those who are born with this should be sympathetic to those who were not blessed with this privilege. This new insane idea was written about and published in a student paper called the Daily Iowan. This op-ed first begins explaining what privilege is in itself before it goes into explaining what white privilege is and how it affects everyone. There are many kinds of privilege besides white privilege, cognitive privilege, for example. We now know that intelligence is not something we have significant control over but is something we are born with. We are living in a society in which success is increasingly linked to one's intelligence. This is not to say that intelligence is the only factor that is important. All that is implied is that below a certain threshold of intelligence, there are fewer and fewer opportunities. These opportunities are being shifted upward to jobs that require heavier cognitive lifting or else are being replaced by robots. Thus, the accident of having been born smart enough to be able to be successful is a great benefit that you did absolutely nothing to earn. Consequently, you have nothing to be proud of for being smart. Once we have admitted the reality of privilege itself and identified some species of privilege, we are better able to talk about the temperature-rising topic of racial privilege. Well, that sounds rather condescending, right? This is just another way to create class warfare and we have seen how well that has worked out in the past. The implication of this entire article is that intelligence is a privilege and that no one has control over their own destiny. Yes, there are people that are smarter in certain subjects than others, but that does not mean they are not intelligent. This is just another way to pass the buck so that no one is responsible for their own actions. For example, Ben Carson lived in a poverty-stricken area and had every obstacle known to man thrown in front of him. His family could not afford the proper schooling or the books to help Carson learn, but he had a desire and made it possible. That is what the left is missing in their little equation of false privilege. The desire to be better and not letting anything stop you. No one is born with more privilege than the next guy and we are all masters of our own destiny. If the left wants to keep claiming that white people have more privilege than this one guy has a perfect response that will certainly put liberals back in their place. That should shut them up for a minute, right? Thanks for watching. Please subscribe Breaking News 365 channel. Goodbye and see you again.